Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors sign ex-Lakers sharpshooter, report. The Golden State Warriors took a flyer on 6'8" sharpshooter Blake Hinson, who was recently waived by the Los Angeles Lakers. According to Hoopshype's Michael Scotto, the Warriors signed Hinson to an Exhibit 10 contract. The Lakers cut Hinson, who was on a two-way contract, to make room for 7-foot center Christian Koloko. Hinson, who shot 42.1% on 7.9 three-point attempts in his final season with the Pittsburgh Panthers, showed plenty of promise in his brief stint with the Lakers. The undrafted rookie averaged 10.9 points and 2.5 rebounds across 20.8 minutes in 8 games in Las Vegas and at the California Classic. Hinson ended his NBA Summer League campaign with the Lakers on a high note, exploding for a team-high 25 points with 5 three-pointers. He added 3 rebounds and 2 assists to lead the Lakers' 107-81 blowout win over the Chicago Bulls in their NBA Summer League finale. Before his 25-point explosion, Hinson also dropped 17 points and 4 three-pointers against the Atlanta Hawks on July 17. Hinson also scored 17 points on 5 of 7 shooting from deep off the bench during the California Classic opener. He added 3 rebounds, 2 assists against 1 turnover, and a steal in a well-rounded performance. Hinson's signing puts the Warriors' training camp roster to 21, one player over the limit. The Warriors will have to cut someone before they fly to Hawaii for their training camp. From there, they would need to trim the roster to 15 or less before the NBA opening night. Hinson joins point guard Yuri Collins and forwards Javan Johnson, Dante Scott and Jackson Rowe as the Warriors' players on training camp deals. Some, if not all of them, will likely play for the Santa Cruz Warriors in the G League. The Warriors have also worked out former Phoenix Suns forward Nasir Little, according to Spotrack's Keith Smith. Little, waived by the Suns in August, also had workouts with the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat and Sacramento Kings, Smith added. The 25-year-old Little was the Portland Trail Blazers' 25th overall pick in 2019. He was traded to the Suns as part of the Damian Lillard multi-team trade. Despite showing promising signs in his final season with the Trail Blazers when he shot a career-high 36.7% from the three-point range, Little did little to impress the Suns last season. The 6'6" Little averaged just 3.4 points and shot 30% from the three-point range in 10.2 minutes off the bench. Despite getting waived by the Suns, Little will still get paid the full $21.8 million remaining on his 4-year, $28 million contract over 7 years via the stretch and waive provision. Injuries have kept Little from realizing his potential. The former North Carolina Tar Heel has not played more than 54 games in his first 5 seasons in the league. According to Sam Amick of The Athletic, Warriors owner Joe Lacob's longtime dream is to pair Stephen Curry with 2-time NBA MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. One that I think is just always going to be monitored around the NBA is if the wheels fall off the Milwaukee Bucks, and we know that Joe Lacob has had kind of dreams of Giannis coming the Warriors' way for a very long time, Amick said on the TK Show podcast on September 12. Again unlikely, but Chris Middleton is going to be a free agent next summer. He's been hurt so much. Damian Lillard, is he gonna have a bounce-back year? Doc Rivers, how does that go in year number 2? I think Giannis is kind of worth monitoring. Antetokounmpo signed a 3-year extension with the Bucks last year that will run through the 2027-28 season when he's 33. Warriors trade pitch would move Andrew Wiggins for $215 million star. The Golden State Warriors showed interest in Lauri Markkanen and Paul George during the offseason, an indication that they'd still like to land a star before the season starts in October. Bleacher Report's Dan Favale suggested that star could be Zach LaVine, who is entering the 3rd year of a 5-year, $215 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. Warriors would get, LaVine Bulls would get, Kevin Looney, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Atlanta's 2026 second-round pick, Atlanta's 2028 second-round pick. Certain suitors will be scared off by his contract. That potentially includes the Warriors. LaVine is owed around $138 million over the next 3 years. This package is almost a dollar-for-dollar match, so the 2024-25 payroll isn't a concern, Favale wrote in a September 19 story on trade ideas to boost 5 NBA playoff hopefuls' offenses. But his price point is something they'll have to reconcile going forward as they prepare to pay Jonathan Kuminga and, potentially, Moses Moody. My professional advice: you have Stephen Curry. Make the trade now, boost your immediate standing in the Western Conference, and figure out the financial logistics later. Whether LaVine's value has fallen far enough for Chicago to accept seconds and longer-term cap relief is debatable. Or maybe not. LaVine would probably be on another team if there were a market for his services and contract. According to Chris Haynes, the Bulls tried to get something going with the Golden State Warriors involving a package for LaVine earlier in the offseason. Haynes said in late June that it could have been Chris Paul, who isn't on the Warriors anymore, and Wiggins for LaVine. I was told that the Chicago Bulls were trying to get something going with the Golden State Warriors trying to get a Zach LaVine package together, Haynes said. You know what I was told? It could have been Zach LaVine for Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. LaVine was once regarded as one of the better shooting guards in the NBA, evident from his 2 All-Star selections in back-to-back years, 2020-2021 and 2021-2022. LaVine's best season came in 2020-2021, when he averaged 27.4 points, 5.0 rebounds, and 4.9 assists. However, he's coming off a year where he played in just 25 games due to injuries. He averaged 19.5 points and shot 34.9% from three-point range on 6.8 attempts per game in those 25 games. LaVine's 34.9% three-point percentage was his worst since 2017-18. Though LaVine is still a good player and could be used on the Warriors, Andy Bailey wrote that they would be the worst landing spot for the California native. That game, which is more hooper than basketball player, would be trickier to assimilate into a Warrior scheme that has long emphasized ball and player movement. There's a lot less your turn, my turn in Golden State, Bailey wrote on September 16. And though that offense probably needs some juice, too, LaVine probably isn't the right source of it. The Warriors finished 10th in the Western Conference last season. If they struggle again to start the year, they could be in desperation mode. LaVine could be that move if no other star becomes available. LaVine, who's playing on a 5-year, $215.1 million deal. Pipe dream trade? Warriors monitoring Giannis Antetokounmpo's situation. It's no secret that all 30 NBA teams want Giannis Antetokounmpo. The 2-time MVP is one of the best at his position of all time. However, the Golden State Warriors have players and picks to make a pipe dream a reality, albeit an unlikely one. According to The Athletic's Sam Amick, Golden State is worth monitoring for one of the teams that will aggressively pursue the Milwaukee Bucks star next year. One that I think is just always going to be monitored around the NBA is if the wheels fall off the Bucks, Amick said on the TK Show podcast hosted by Tim Kawakami. We know that Joe Lacob has had dreams of Giannis coming the Warriors' way for a very long time. Again, unlikely, but Chris Middleton is going to be a free agent next summer. I think Giannis is worth monitoring. Although it's not Milwaukee's fault for succumbing to 2 season-ending injuries in as many years, its front office hasn't built a younger, healthier roster for Antetokounmpo. Moreover, the Bucks blew their last assets on Damian Lillard. Although the Warriors aren't exactly young regarding their core players, they have picks and young players to provide the Bucks with an out if the Antetokounmpo situation reaches a point of no return. At 36, Stephen Curry only has so many years left in the NBA, and who's to say he will be a star-level player for the duration of his career? The Warriors need a star to lead the new era at the Chase Center, and Jonathan Kuminga has to prove he's worthy of such a label. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Giannis Antetokounmpo? Leave your opinion in the comments.